Hello everyone, this is Crystal with Slick Trade, and in this presentation I am going to go over the modified Foltron setup that you're going to see in the file pack. I'm going to go ahead and release that today for you all, and it's based off of, well, I don't know, it's based off of a few things. Excuse me. Lee in the room has been very helpful with sharing multiple different strategies that have worked very well for him, and those include the Patriot, the Semaphores, the Wick Hunter, and over the past few weeks we've been modifying them, making them better, seeing what works best, what doesn't, things like that, and I've been trading the Foltron a lot. That's one that I created, and I absolutely love it. It's really my favorite strategy. I have not used some of Lee's strategies as much yet, but I do look forward to using those as well, because I've seen that a lot of you are making some great pips with it, and and trading every day with it. So one of the modifications that Lee found with his, I believe it was the Semaphores setup, was that if you add the 13 to the 13 simple moving average to your setup, you can enter based on the 13 and 20 crossing. Now, the Foltron, that's really what it's based on, is the crossing of two moving averages, okay? And whether they are going with the trend or against the trend. And the overall trend is based on the 200 simple moving average. Now, what I personally use for the moving averages, or moving average cross, I've been using the 12 and the 26. So when he said the 13 and the 20, I thought, well, let's go ahead and check this out. I went ahead and added it, and it seemed to be very, very promising. However, I don't like the simple. Now, this is up to you. What I did was I added two new templates, okay? So when you right-click and you go to Template, you're going to see the original Foltron, okay? Now, this one is set up to trade with the trend only, so it's only if it's, only long positions will signal if they if price is above the 200 moving average, which is that white line there, and only short positions will signal if price is below that 200 moving average, okay? Now, the 200 moving average is set to simple. However, the moving averages are set to exponential, okay? So what I did was I went ahead and I made two new templates here. You're going to see the Foltron Modified V2 EMAs and the Foltron Modified V2 SMAs. The difference is the EMAs are exponential moving averages and the SMAs are simple moving averages. Now, I personally, again, I prefer exponential simply because you're going to get an earlier entry. I feel from my own experience, okay, that you're going to gain more pips. You have a greater pip potential gain, okay, and but I added both, okay, so you can find what works best for you, okay. The take profit, if you right click, go to experts and properties, the take profit is set to 20 because that is based on the Semaphores. You set a take profit to 20. You can gain a lot more from, than just 20. But that's just what it's set to. It is also only set to alert mode. If you want to have it auto trade your account, you need to set this to trading mode, okay? But I have it set to alert because that's what I use. I would much rather manually enter my trades. I don't like to blindly enter a trade. That's just the way that I am. But I know a lot of you, use the expert advisors to auto trade, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's based on a strategy. It's based on a specific setup. But again, I personally prefer to manually trade. That's just the way I am. I like to look at the chart. You'll see on both of these templates that the trend is set to false, okay, and that, like I already explained, it means that it will trade with and against the trend, okay. You can change that, set it to true if you want it to only go with the trend, all right. The 200 is set to simple, but then these two, 13 and 20, they're set to exponential for the EMAs, they're set to simple for the SMAs templates, okay? If you're auto trading, you can use all these other features, the break even, the trail stop, any of that. You want to make sure you enter price per pip. This used to say lot size. A lot of you are asking, though, what does lot size mean? It simply means price per pip, okay? So if you do 0.1, you're trading $1 per pip. If you do 0.01, you're trading 10 cents per pip, okay? If you're doing 1.0, you're trading $10 per pip, okay? So again, you can set it to whatever you want, $0.55 per pip. Okay, if you're auto trading, stop loss, this is another reason why I like to manually trade. I set my stop loss based on previous support or resistance, or previous support and resistance, or the supply and demand zones, okay? A lot of you have asked me that. Stop loss, what do you set it to? I do not set it to anything specific. I set it to whatever those levels are, okay? And when I say that, these zones right here, these blue, these red, these gray boxes, these are supply and demand zones, okay? So in this scenario here, there was a sell issued, or a short position issued, and my stop loss would have been up here, okay? It's not set to any specific number of pips. Right here, there was a buy or a long position signaled. I would set my stop down here for demand, like right below that demand zone. If you're doing previous support or resistance, the previous support would have been right around here, okay? So, you can decide if you like to trade with the supply and demand, or if you like to trade with support and resistance. Find what works best for you, okay? So that's what's going on with these. Now, the next thing I want to show you, I put these next to each other so you can see the difference between simple moving averages and exponential moving averages, and why I personally prefer exponential, okay? The chart on the right is exponential. The chart on the left is simple, okay? As you can see, there are multiple signals that were given here and here that were not given over here. Also, over here, with the simple, the long position was not issued, okay? And this was a beautiful long position that you definitely would have wanted to get into, okay? Look at how many pips you gained on that. It's a huge move if you stayed in it, okay? So, think about that. Also, here, you see these? This was signaled. Now, it did gain 20 pips, okay? And this one, signaled here. I guess it gained close to 20 pips, if not 20 pips, okay? So maybe more trading opportunities are given with the simple, but the exponential, much of the time, is going to get you in a trade. A lot of time it'll get you in a trade earlier, okay? Like this example, you see this sell, it was given here and here. This sell was given during this candle, okay? So you really didn't gain 20 pips here, okay, depending on when it gave during that candle. Here, you were given it, well before that heavy drop, okay? It's smoother. Yes, it'll give you less signals, but it'll give you less fake outs as well, okay? That's why I like the exponential. another thing to keep in mind is you can trade smooth and linear weighted moving averages, okay? But again, I like exponential, okay? That's this chart on the right. You right click, you go to template, and you load. You just click on one of these, okay? There's EMAs. Right here, you right click, you template, and you can go if you want the SMAs, okay? Again, that's up to you. It's whatever your trading preference is. I'm just telling you what I like, okay? So I also, this GU was one that I got into this morning, and my take profit was hit within minutes, which was pretty cool. But if you didn't watch my presentation on the supply and demand, I suggest you check that out. Also check out the original Foltron video if you have not yet. Explain a lot of things in there too. But supply and demand, I feel like that was a great presentation that explains a lot. Up here we have supply, down here we have demand, where we currently are at in price. And when you get a short signal after you've been within a supply zone, that's a great opportunity and a much more, valid trade when it's in one of those. Same with here, we were in a supply, or in a demand zone, excuse me, when this buy or long position was signaled right here to enter long. And again, since it was in this demand zone, that's a much more valid trade. Okay, so check out that presentation. I go into supply and demand, I explain what it is, and show you a few examples. But I love it with the Foltron setup. It is by far my favorite setup right now. Use what works for you. Okay, if it's the Wick Hunter, use the Wick Hunter. If it's the Patriot, use the Patriot. If it's Poppin' Picasso, use Poppin' Picasso. Rock and Rango, use Rock and Rango. Use what works best for your trading style and the times that you trade. This one, though, has definitely produced me the most pips. And I think with the modification from Lee that he found with his semaphores, to use the 13 and 20, using that 13 and 20 with the Foltron instead of the 12 and the 26, you're going to get some earlier entries on some of these signals and some more signals too. So definitely check it out. And you guys have a great one. I love that you all are sharing what you're doing in the room and explaining what works for you. I think it's awesome. But, keep it up. If you have questions, we have a great trading community. You all are. I love seeing you help one another. It's wonderful. Keep doing it. Okay. I think it's very beneficial to share what works and what doesn't with you. If you come up with new strategies, share them. If you've got questions or enhancements about existing ones, share it. Everybody's very friendly in the room, and I feel like the member chat is very very active and a great community. Okay, so you guys have a great one. I will talk to you later.